Across the province is a program the Vancouver Art Gallery started in 2006, if I remember correctly, and it consists of a series of thematic exhibitions drawn mostly from the gallery's collection, which includes a little over 10,000 artworks. Institutions that have participated in the program include the Art Gallery of Greater Victoria, the Surrey Art Gallery, the Reach in Abbotsford, obviously the Kelowna Art Gallery, the Kamloops Art Gallery, and the Two Rivers Art Gallery in Prince George. And the idea is to provide a broader access to our collection, which we feel is a great asset to the city of Vancouver, but also to the province. And the idea behind the program is to make that available to a broader audience. Well, I started working on the exhibition with my co-curator, Thom, about 14 months before the exhibition opened. And for us, that's a little bit shorter than usual time. And thinking about Susan, we thought it was important to do an exhibition of Susan's work in terms of where her career was at. We also thought it was really important to recognize the culture of the Musqueam. The Vancouver Art Gallery is on their traditional territory, and their work hasn't had a really prominent place in our program, so we felt like it was important to address that. And in thinking about Susan's work, the Spindle Whorl is the most persistent motif in her work. So we thought that might be a thematic that we could organize the exhibition around. So we met with Susan and discussed how we might proceed. Well, first we asked her if she was interested in doing an exhibition, and she was. And then we talked about the content and in terms of the number of prints. So we exhibited pretty much every print she had made during her career up to the time of the exhibition. And Susan was extremely generous in that she also undertook a number of new works specifically for the exhibition. A lot of the wall sculptures, the wall-mounted spindle whorls, were produced specifically for the exhibition. We negotiated a number of loans. In terms of selecting the work, that was a process that we worked out with Susan over a period of time. We then consulted Susan about who would be good writers for the catalog or appropriate writers for the catalog, and that was underway at the same time as the arranging the loans and organizing the exhibition. A Spindle Whorl is a device that was used by Coast Salish women to make wool. They would make the wool from either mountain goat hair, or they raised dogs that had a very specific type of hair that they would use. And the spindle whorl itself was a long sort of rod that would go through the center of a circular element. So the circular element would have a hole in the middle. The circular element might be a foot in diameter or something like that. And the rod would be spun, so that would bind the hair of the dog and the mountain goat together to produce the wool. And the wool was then woven into garments and ceremonial blankets. When you say blankets, sometimes people think that's something just to keep you warm, but these in fact were very important blankets that had a ceremonial purpose and were used to signify social status. And that was something that was particularly prominent in the culture of the Coast Salish. So that includes a number of works that the Vancouver Art Gallery acquired after the exhibition. So we had some of Susan's work before the exhibition, but we acquired a number of works out of it. Some of the prints we then also borrowed from Susan's studio as well to make the show a little bit more comprehensive. And it's been great that the Kelowna Art Gallery has added some works directly from Susan's studio to the exhibition as well. So some of the works are from our collection, and some of them have come from Susan's studio. Well, I hope they walk away with a sense of the vitality of Coast Salish culture and how it's something that has had a presence that's gone very far back in history, but is still very much vital and alive now and will continue to be in the future. And also recognize Susan's accomplishment, which has been pretty remarkable. When she started her career, there were very few people working in an identifiably Salish idiom. It's something that she kind of recovered from history, and against great odds actually has really revitalized. So there are a number of artists now contemporary artists working with the identifiably Salish idiom, but Susan was the primary force in leading that revival. I guess what I hope they would take away again would be that there is a distinct Coast Salish idiom that's used in their work, and that it's a culture that has a long history and very vital history and is still very vital now.